How's everyone doing out there? This is the Black Effect. Let me talk to you. I want to talk about hypocrisy. Hypocrisy, man. One of the worst things to me that you can be on this earth is a hypocrite. Um, and it's a bad thing in the eyes of the Lord. Being a hypocrite. What's the worst? Think of one of the worst hypocrites you could think of. Say like a pastor who's preaching to you to go to follow the Lord, to stay from far from sin, and you find out later that he been cheating on his wife with about 3, 4 women in the parish. That's a hypocrite, and that's an egregious one. That's not a good thing to be a hypocrite. You should try to mean what you say, stand for what you're gonna stand on, whether it's good or bad. God himself says that it's better, the Bible says it's better for you to be hot or cold than to be lukewarm. People who are hypocrites, they lukewarm. They want to try to please everybody. They'll pop in one day and they this, they pop over her the next day. Now they this. They mind sway and change with the wind, and it's a very effeminate mind state. You should, as men, we have to mean what we say what we mean, and do, and our actions have to reflect the things that's coming out of our mouth. What's really made me look at hypocrisy with a more understanding lens is this rap beef that's happened between Drake and Kendrick Lamar. That itself has allowed me to understand a lot about human beings, human nature. God, this happens, and this is that was one of those polarizing rap battles, like how Biggie and Tupac was, because it taught black people a lot. It taught the culture a lot. But even still, they didn't learn, and they still had violent rap beats after that. But it did teach the culture a lot. And this is the same. Like, people are very hypocritical. I think that if Tupac was around today, that people would turn on him because he would have been at the top too long. Tupac would have been, I think the mindset of people today would have turned on Tupac. Because let's be real, like, Tupac was accused of rape. Tupac was accused, and we all know the story, and any of us who have a brain know that Tupac didn't have any motive to rape the woman, and I don't believe that he did, but he was accused of rape. And in this day and age, this is the day and age. I'm gonna keep it real with you. This is the day and age of guilty into proven innocent. That's what it is. But people wouldn't want that to happen to their sons or their daddy or their uncle, any loved one, their husband. You wouldn't want anyone slandering their name, making false allegations against them without proof. You wouldn't want that for your people. But then at the same time, you think that's okay to slander someone else's name and drag it through the mud. I'm not talking about in rap beef, just because this is the day. The only difference with this here is the social media, because now it shows you how people really think. Now you got Drake's house getting his shop getting raided, getting robbed or vandalized is the word. It's getting vandalized. It wasn't robbed. Vandalized. Then his house gets shot up and his bodyguard gets shot in the chest. There's violence already coming from this. And this is when a person, like, again, if someone just came up to you, grabbed you just got married, somebody came and grabbed into your husband and said, you molested me, or you did that, or somebody came up and was like, you were a child molester, and kept saying, I'm gonna take you to jail. So I'm just a random person. How would you feel about that? And every time you saw the random person, it's like your husband's a child molester, and what, like, how would you feel about it? Would you be friendly with that person, or would it be up and stuck every time you see him? Yeah, I know the answer to that. So that's how the stuff is. It's a no brainer for it to beget violence. That was also a part of it in this rap industry that we're in. Nas, the Diplomats, Game, 50 Cent, Ja Rule. There was already violence happening there. Jada Kiss, Beans told you Jada Kiss came up into his hood. What is that? Came out there to Philly blunted and was ready to try to kill something over that beef because Beanie Siegel, not only could he compete with him, they had the bigger name. So that can affect Jada Kiss's money, his career, and people around him. You know, not just that, people around him. But like I said, in this instance here, there's just too much hypocrisy going on. Even like with do you want, like, I don't understand, what do people want from this new era of hip hop? Are we going to actually try to raise the bar? Like, are we gonna actually try to have some morality in hip hop, in this mix synonymously with black culture? Or like, are we gonna stop championing drug dealing, pill popping, drug selling, um, murder raps? Are we gonna stop supporting that? Seriously, there has to be a line drawn in the sand, because black culture can't just be just always grouped in with ratchet behavior and something negative. If we gonna raise the bar, let's raise it, man. Let's not. And for people who are so outraged, you have people who, and it's not just in this situation. You have when people I see all the time who try to police men. Like, women try to, it's an effeminate behavior. Women try to do this to men. They'll try to police who they sleep with, and how they, the women that they sleep with and things like that. Try to tell them, like, try to act on some moral high horse. Lady, person, men like young women. You gotta understand this. I ain't say underage children, but men love young women. What do you think? What is wrong with you? Wake up. Like, that's when women are in their prime. Like, why do you think? But see, you have men who may marry an 18-year-old woman, like a Marcus Houston situation. But so what? They're two adults. They can do what I don't want to hear anything about that. That just because they have 18 in their name, they are an adult. You're using semantics. And with that being said, why aren't y'all, if you do have a problem with 18-year-old women sleeping, they should be just looked at as little kids, and they shouldn't be sleeping with anybody, and you also hate grooming behavior, why don't you go attack the biggest groomers instead of wasting time? The biggest groomers are these porn companies. They are after your children. They'll be looking at a child since they were 16, and then bring them up. Soon as they get 18, then here you go. It's time to get into this porn. They gonna lie to them, tell them that they gonna be famous, tell them they could be doing all this. And at the end of the day, what they gonna get is a bunch of trauma, mental trauma, and a check. That's it. But you're not going and boycotting any of those porn companies. You're not gonna go fight against any of them porn companies. You're not gonna even say nothing. You're not gonna even make a YouTube video. The reason why is a couple of reasons. One is because you love porn. You support it. And then number two, you scared to go against them white folks. You only want to go against your brother. You want to go against half black, half white, and use that as some type of diss or argument. But you don't want to go against the real boogeyman, and you know who that is. And I'm talking to the brothers, man. I don't want to hear no gossiping about nothing. You understand? Like, gossiping and bearing false witness, that's against God. We could stop doing that already. I'm not with you on that. And we as black people try to make it seem like everybody else got a problem with bigotry or separating people through race or through color, skin color. No, black people do that too. And that's a horrible thing. Like, the light skin nigga, the dark skin. Yeah, I mean, stop all. That's been going on since I've been in high school. I mean, since I've been in grade school. And that's been going on a lot longer before I even remembered it or encountered it. But that's corny. And in this situation with Drake, everybody did songs with him when they needed him. Because he was the one who was able to give you that look and produce like these big worldwide songs. Everybody was with him, partying with him. And I'm talking about all of y'all, man. Everybody, even the ones who beef with him. Rick Ross, we know what you get down on, bro. You said you put the Molly in a drink and she didn't even know it. You want to talk about lyrics that didn't help nobody, bro? Stop. You're done. But it's just more hypocrisy. One person thinking that the dump that they take don't smell as bad as the dump that the other person takes. Like, we gotta really grow up, man. In hypocrisy, I can't stand it. I'm not with it. It's against the Lord. And we gotta watch when we speak, watch not to fall into that. Don't be in your heart. Don't be a hypocrite. Cause it's hard. It's hard. You can't trust people like that. A lot of people don't want to deal with them, and you find out in the long run that you just need to be real. So with that being said, this hypocrisy, I tell you, it's a trip. I could do this video longer, but I'm not going to. This is the Black Effect. I'm gone.